Morning, everyone. Sorry for delaying by 5 minutes. I was just wondering whether some other students will be joining. So today I'm going to take you through what are your career opportunities or what are the prospects that you can look at after you finish your graduation. Raksha, can you please do your video? I can see you, and it's Raksha. Can you hear me? Yes. Please switch off your video. Okay, I can see you, and it's kind of Raksha, can you hear me? You have to please touch on that video icon so that you will be invisible to me. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so now first I'd like to thank your principal, okay, and Padmaja ma'am for giving me this opportunity to address all of you students. Okay, right now, see what does this slide tell you? Crossroads. Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of the word crossroads? Anybody? See, crossroads means it's like it's we are not talking about actual crossroads. We are talking about a situation wherein you are at a juncture, like that you need to know what is going to happen next. And the major thing is it depends on your decision of what you're going to be in the future or what your future might look like. Okay, that is what is the meaning of crossroads here, because like you are at a very important point in your life as after you finish your graduation. Now this is one of the very common enough questions which almost all the students face. Even I have faced it, almost all. Like what to do next? Till graduation we are not worried till we finish our degree, because it goes on 10 plus 2 plus 5. After that you kind of start thinking, and the decision, like I told you earlier, you are at a crossroads, and this confusion is there with minimum of 80% of the graduates. You're not a kind of everybody has this. And then like I told you, since you are at the crossroads, your decision is very crucial for both your career as well as your personal growth. Okay, so now probably there are these four options. Like, you might be wondering whether you need to go for a job. Some of you might have got a job during your campus selection, or whether you need to go for higher studies, or whether it's a self, whether you'd like to create a startup, whether you'd like to become an entrepreneur and give people jobs rather than seeking one, or take a break for a year. It's a gap year. Okay, now probably we believe that to help that we can help you to some extent. Whatever I'm going to tell you is nothing new, but probably while going through that again, that might help you in making your decision, or it might lessen your confusion to some extent. Why higher education? I'm sorry. Why higher education? Why higher studies after graduation? Now, this is an important, in case many of you are not aware, like what are the plus points of going for higher education. See, higher studies, they lead to a better career goal. Okay, and then especially in today's very highly competitive world, okay, if you take a job you might reach a certain point, but you cannot move up the career ladder without a postgraduate or a higher degree. And then now you are very young, kind of just 20, 21, not even 21, so probably you might not be able to make a proper decision. So when you go for your post graduation, it gives you a valuable 2 years, okay, or a year, wherein you might mature a little bit more, and it might help you to come to a proper decision. Degree is not enough for you for your upward trajectory in career. What do you mean by upward trajectory? That means in climbing the ladder of your career. So you need to these are one of the perks of higher education. Then the last and the very important point is there is no substitute for knowledge. Knowledge is power. Okay, and the more knowledge you have, the more skill sets you have, the better your prospects of coming up in life, the better your prospects of personal growth and career growth. Now I have some courses for all the students, like from arts, commerce and science, but I'm going to start with the arts first. The reason is, see, today there is a common misconception, or I'd like to call it a myth also, that people believe that arts is no use. Okay, you just talk to someone. In case they ask you what are you doing, so you say, imagine you say BA. The first question they'll ask you is BA. Why did you choose that? This is, I'm going to tell you, this is a misconception, a myth. Means it's the wrong idea. Actually, BA, the degree opens a vast avenues for youngsters, but many people don't know this, because in today's very highly, how do I put it, in era wherein people go for professional courses, especially when you think from the Indian scenario, we have only two courses. We have engineering, we have medicine. There is nothing in between, isn't it? This is something which is very common, and I'm sure all of us have come across. But let me tell you something here. Each and every degree has its value, provided your knowledge base is sound. Okay, so I'm going to start with the arts stream. Now, these are some of the government jobs which are open after your arts. It can be BA, it can be BBA, any of the arts degrees. Now, these are the government options, job options, and these are the exams that you need to clear. Okay, you have IAS, IPS, IFS. This is foreign service. This is administrative service, Indian police. This I'm sure you know. So what happens is, for these, if you want to get into these, you need to clear UPSC Civil Services examination. And for Indian Air Force, Navy and Army, you have to clear this. And for you have certain, and I have change the color font also, you can observe it here. For Central Armed Police Forces, UPSC, CAPF. And for Intelligence Bureau jobs, there is no exams. You just need to have certain skill sets, a degree. You need to be armed with a degree, certain skill sets, you can apply. Railway jobs, as we all know, they have their own exams. Indian Postal Services, no exams. And then for all these other, tax assistant, accountant, junior statistical officer, yes, assistant accounts officer, auditor, and so on, you need to clear SSC and CGL. Okay, so these are some of the options which are the government option jobs that you might think of or look at. And before you are thinking that it's very difficult and it's not for us, please don't think like that. I'll tell you later why. Because if someone else can crack it, so can we. But the ironical fact is, this is an irony actually, in in the southern states of India, most of the youngsters never even look at these options. Never even look at these options, because we have a set of idea that these are difficult. But if you go to the northern states, northern part of India, most of the people try for this. Of course, I agree, it needs rigorous training, it needs rigorous practice, but then just think of it. Would you please give it a thought? Next, private job options with your degree. After an arts degree, you can become a content writer, executive assistant, marketing manager, graphic designer. Now, all these, journalism, animation, and of course, management. And management, MBA, we have a lot of students who are from the BA stream, MBA, PGD, BM, and so on. So just look at it. The courses are numerous. The career opportunities are numerous for you people. And then what do you mean by hospitality specializations? I have come across many students who have a wrong idea of the word hospitality. The moment they think of hospitality, they think it's hospital and something to do with healthcare. It's not so. Hospitality specializations refer to something to do with catering industry, hotel industry. Okay. So these are just a few that I have put on the slide. Next, we'll move on to the best courses after BCom. Now, these are some of the options. MBA, CA, CS, MCom, I'm sure almost all I've heard. But let us look at the other ones like CFA, BAT, CMA, CPA, FRM, ACCA, CFP, CIB, B.Ed again we all know, even digital marketing. Now, next slides, I'll take you through a little bit of these courses so that you'll have at least a little bit of idea. And let me tell you once again, this is just the tip of an iceberg, okay? So, MBA, this is one of the most popular courses and one of the best career options for graduates from any stream. It's not just for BCom students, but then you need to clear your CAT or PGCET or KMAT. And the good news is that the PGCET has they have they have uh, the last opening day is still they have not yet closed their uh, registrations. I think it's open till 20th of this month, if I'm not wrong. Then you have CA. It happens in 3 stages, that is CPT, IPCC, and CA finals. But then the plus point of this course is that you can start it as soon as you finish your PU. If you have enrolled for a commerce course, if you have thought about your future in advance, like what you need to do, and if chartered accountancy is something which you feel that you are cut out for, okay, many youngsters will start, and by the time they finish their graduation, most of them will have cleared the CA intern. I'm sure you know about that. Next coming will come to the company secretary. This many people don't know. For this you need to study corporate law also. This is a 3-year degree, and which is foundation, the first stage, intermediate, and finals. But youngsters have a lot of opportunities, and if you do your CS. MCOM, we all know, okay, and if you want to build your career in banking, financial sector, insurance sector, taxation, BCom is the thing that you need to look for. Then we have CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst. This is again a globally recognized degree, okay, and it is offered by the CFA Institute. It's a duration of 2.5 years, and it is designed to measure and certify the competence and integrity of financial analyst. This is very, very, again, you need to really work hard to be certified as a CFA. Next, BAT. What is BAT? Business Accounting and Taxation. Okay, this is again a course which is meticulously designed by industry experts. You will be industry ready. The moment you finish this course, you'll be industry ready, and you can go for accounting job roles, or a tax consultant, corporate legal assistant, finance manager, accounts executive, tax analyst, to name a few. Since this is designed by the industry expert, okay, you are industry ready. The moment you finish this course, you can get a job immediately. Next, CMA. What is a CMA? Certified Management Accountant. You need to have this is of this happens in 2 stages. Okay, you'll be learning about financial planning, analysis, control, decision making, and professional ethics, and so on. But you also need to have an experience of 2 years, okay, to go for this course. Next, CPA, Certified Public Accounting. This is again another globally recognized professional designation, and it is offered by American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. Again, this is the main duty of these CPAs is to provide financial reporting and advisory services to encourage informed decision making and foster financial growth. So, we'll be handling some very key roles there. Next, FRM, Financial Risk Manager. Again, this is a recognized course in banking and finance. Okay, and this is an excellent option for those who think they are very strong in numbers. Okay, and it is offered by Association of Risk Professionals. And your primary duty of a FRM would be to identify and analyze threats to the company assets, earning capacity, and its performance or success in the market. This is something to do. This is a new one, like crisis management and so on. Next, we move on to ACCA. This is again a very, very popular course, well known in 173 countries, and is opted by thousands of students worldwide. There are 14 papers that you need to clear, and the duration is 2 years, but MNCs have a high demand for graduates of this course. This comes highly recommended. Next you have CFP, Certified Financial Planner, one of the best courses. It's a 6 months duration course, one of the best courses for BCom students. And you can either look at being a financial consultant or insurance consultant and so on. Next, CIB, Certificate in Investment Banking. Again, this is a 6 months course, okay, especially designed to evaluate your knowledge, understanding and skills in investment banking. Your career options would be like in investment banking, private equity, equity research, hedge funds, okay, stock market, corporate finance and strategy. So something you can look for job opportunity in the stock markets too. Next, digital marketing. Now, digital marketing is a course which can last from 3 to 11 months. It focuses on topics like SEO, that is search engine optimization, SEM, search engine marketing, and SMM, social media marketing, other than email marketing, content marketing. PPC, what do you mean by PPC? Pay per click. This is a model of internet marketing in which advertisers pay a fee each time one of their ads is clicked. So this is PPC, as well as web design and so on. And digital marketing is an upcoming field in the current scenario. And B.Ed, I needn't go into B.Ed. We all know what is a B.Ed. It is a bachelor's degree in education, okay, wherein earlier it was a 1-year course. Now it's a 2-year course now. And then what happens is you will be armed with a degree in education and you can join as a teaching professional. And especially there are the news is that even in higher education sectors, people might want a B.Ed degree in the coming days. Next, we move on to career opportunities after BSc. What after BSc? So see, as a BSc graduate, you are at a premium, okay. Many think that only BCom is highly lucrative, neither BA nor BSc, but it is not so. Like I've told you earlier, BAs have vast career opportunities. The thing is, you need to look around. Likewise with BSc, okay. And you can take up, of course, a postgraduate program and so on, but you can even look into non-science programs like journalism, animation, management, like MBA or PGDBM, hospitality specializations, among others. Now, these are the top academic courses which BSc students can pursue: MSc, Master of Science, and let me tell you, uh, pure sciences, graduates of pure sciences, that is like physics, chemistry, and so on, mathematics, there is a huge demand. And many scientific organizations look for these kind of graduates, because these days most of the youngsters are running after engineering and medicine. They usually don't get a person who is knowledgeable enough and skilled enough in this field. So MSc is a good option, as well as you can look at MCA if you are um, if you have taken some CS or optional subjects like that. MBA, again, a degree in data science, machine learning. Machine learning is the new thing that is coming up, and it has huge demand, as well as management, PGDBM, PGDM, and so on. So these are some of the employment opportunities that BSc graduates can look into. Educational institutions, space research institutes, ISRO, that's what I was telling earlier, research firms, testing labs, forensic crime research. Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of forensic crime research? Forensics, can anyone tell me? You can unmute and speak to me so that everyone can listen. Can anybody? Forensic. See, as the next word suggests, it is to do with crime and detective detection of like who has done the murder and so on. So forensic crime research is it is very, very lucrative, and BSc graduates can look into this too. Geological survey departments, pharmaceuticals and biotechnology, healthcare organizations and institutes, chemical industry, environmental management and conservation. Again, this has huge demand and potential these days because we are into environment, we are into preservation and conservation and so on. Then of course forest services, wastewater management, petrochemicals industries and so on. I mean, to name a few. Now, now we have gone through all the courses which a BA, BSc or a BCom graduate can look into. Now the next question is, which is better? Whether it's higher education or job, which is better and what do you need to look into? Now, first I would like, before you go through the slide, I would like you to look at the picture that I have put here. What does it say? Passion is the difference between having a job or career. So what does that mean? It means at the end of the day, it is your decision. You need to think of what is your passion. What is it that you want to do? Now, don't look, what happens is this is again a common thing that I've seen in today's youngsters. You look at what your friend is doing, and most of the times you think of following your friends. Now, I ask you, the $1,000,000 question is, why should you do that? See, each person is an individual, is unique. I keep telling this to my students every time. And if you compare yourself with someone, that is an insult to yourself. Never do that. Never do that. It can be education, looks, family, whatever. Never ever compare yourself to somebody else, and never try to follow in somebody else's path, like whatever your friend is doing. Let him or her do whatever he or she wants. I would advise, or I would request, or I would tell you that you should do what you feel is the right thing to do, what you want to do, what you feel is the need of the hour, and it's only you and only you can decide that for yourself. Okay, that whether to take up a job or wait for your higher education. And before I forget, see, if some of you have already been placed, please take the job. There's nothing like work experience. Okay, there's nothing to like work experience to broaden your skill sets, as well as to broaden your horizons. It's great, especially in today's a very very competitive job market. If you have already bagged a job, please go for that. Go for it, get some experience, and then come back for higher education. You can do that too. But if you feel that, no, I would like to I would need better prospects, then of course higher education is your option. But please sit for some time, think and decide. Now, what happens if you take up a job? See, if you might think for the time being, you might think it's a good thing. It might be a good thing, of course, because it provides financial stability, it provides work experience, and it gives you an early start in your career. It gives you independence. You are financially independent, and you get to see the world outside your classroom. What does that mean? You come into contact with people. And please remember, see, till now, all of you have led a very sheltered life. Okay, your home, your parents, your school, your teachers, your friends, it's a very, very sheltered kind of life. You get to see how really is the world outside, because you get to meet with different people, isn't it? Virtual strangers when you start working or when you have taken up a job. Now, what are the plus and the minus of taking up a job immediately after your graduation? Now, pros are the plus points and cons are the minus points. Like I told you, early experience, more experience, you have started earning money, okay, and you have a steady lifestyle, and instead of investing in education, you invest in your dreams, a home or a car, or you probably visit to, you would like, you dream, if you have dreamt of exploring various places, you think of that. Okay, you are fulfilling your dream by taking up a job. Okay, and then like I told you, when you, nothing like job experience, you start accumulating a wealth of experience which will augur well for your future. What do you mean by auguring well? Which will be a plus point for your future. What are the minus points? Okay, steady, agree. Independent, economically you're independent, yes, but after certain time it becomes monotonous. It might become monotonous or boring. And the safest investment that you can make is on your higher education. That's one of the safest bets, because it provides more security than whatever you are thinking about right now. And then, like I have spoken about this earlier too, agreed, you, after your graduation, if you take up a degree, yes, fine, but then you cannot climb the ladder in your chosen profession, because there definitely you need to have a degree in higher education so that you can get to the top. It stops your growth vertically, but there is no, you can always grow horizontally, there's nothing wrong. And by growing horizontal you might grow vertical too, but then there is no guarantee of that. So next, a gap year. What happens if you take a break? Some people do that. Okay, they take a break, and in the free time, they are, it's not like they are not doing anything. Okay, they'll be probably learning some new skills, probably learning something. Say, for imagine, for example, photography is your hobby. Let's imagine, for the time being, for the sake of argument, that photography is your passion. Okay, you love photography, but all these years, 10 plus 2 plus 5, you didn't have time to indulge in your passion. Now you can do that. You can take a gap year, you can take a year in between of your graduation and your post graduation, and you can do whatever you have dreamt of doing. Or probably you are interested in music, dance, the visual arts. Okay, you can go to that, you can take it up and make, but then you need to utilize your gap year. It's not like simply discontinuing your education and roaming here and there, and that. A gap year doesn't mean that. It has to be utilized in a very, very fruitful manner. The option is to become an entrepreneur. See, the word entrepreneur, it is entrepreneur, it is derived, the root is Sanskrit. It is derived from the word, Sanskrit word anthaprerana. How many of you knew this? Come on, how many of you knew this? Anthaprerana. What is the meaning of anthaprerana? Entrepreneur, okay, we might not know. What is the meaning of anthaprerana? It is the prerana or the inspiration which comes from within you. Within you. So to become an entrepreneur, you need to have abundant passion. You need to have a lot of passion. Okay, and if you have not it, if you think you are not happy with the jobs that you are getting, you can start your own company. Okay, and then if you are confident and creative in your approach, and if you want to be a little different from your others, okay, then being an entrepreneur is your cup of tea. Of course, it's a risky adventure, and it requires a lot of dedication and determination, that is for sure. So, but then you need to, again, you need to think before you do that. Now, see, it's a great path to choose after graduation because it gives you independence and autonomy. What is the meaning of autonomy? It means it vests you with the role to choose or to make your own decisions. And then you have control over whom you work with or what you'd like to do. I saw someone raise a hand, but I'll be taking the Q&A session at the end, okay? So you can ask me the question later on. I'll give you opportunity to ask questions. And then it gives you freedom to work on the projects that you want to work. Flexibility. You can spend time, it's like quality time. All the time it's quality time. And then opportunities, when you become an entrepreneur and when you build your portfolio of activities, and you can look towards government funds too. Okay, so your opportunities becomes colossal, and then you'll get recognition for whatever you have done too. And we have a lot of success stories when it comes to entrepreneurs, our own Indian success stories, be it Swiggy. If I say Swiggy and Zomato, immediately you will know what I'm talking about. So they were all entrepreneurs, and FB is an exceptional exception. Post graduation, we come to the last lap of whether it's post graduation or higher, post graduation or higher studies. Now, how is this beneficial? How can this be beneficial to your career. Like I have explained, it is an investment in your future. It provides in-depth knowledge of your subject, and nothing like knowledge. There's nothing which can come even close to knowledge. And you'll have an idea of the market. It provides you a hands-on experience, because some professional courses comes on with hands-on experience. Of course, this is a known thing. It creates better career opportunities, and automatically, when you are armed with the postgraduate degree, of course, you go at a higher pay level. The CTC will be definitely at a higher level, and you get your academic recognition too. Plus, it gives you an opportunity to contribute towards world knowledge. So, if you wish to pursue higher education after graduation, you need to start researching what degree you want to do and where would you like to do it. And when you are looking up colleges, I would like to tell the youngsters one thing here, because I've seen this time and again. See, it is not your, please see, when you are thinking of joining a college, please look at the knowledge base of the faculty of the college that you are going to join, because most of the youngsters, you look at the external thing, the building, okay, the cafeteria. How is the cafeteria? How is the building? Is it posh is the word which is the lingo which is used by youngsters. But why are you going there? Are you going there to fall in love with the building, or to eat in the cafeteria, or are you going there to study, to arm yourselves with knowledge and a skill set and a degree which should be worth its weight in gold? You need to question yourself that. Okay, so please make sure this is something which you will really look into before you join any institution. That's very important, very important, which students unfortunately don't look into. You just go by the aesthetics of, something that pleases your eye. You are just going by the cover of the book. And in one of my previous sessions, I had spoken about idiomatically, what does it mean? Okay, looking at superficial things. Never commit that mistake. Now, this is a very interesting thing. See, why do millennials struggle to land their dream job? What do you mean by millennials? See, the children who were born after 2000, no, after 90s or 96 onwards to 2005 or 6, they are known as the millennials. Because no, I'm sorry, children who were born after 80 within 2000 are known as the millennials. Born before 2000, or say 2005 6. Why are they known as the millennials? Because they were born in that particular period. Okay, and the children who will be born, or who are born after 2010, they are in 2020, they'll be known as the Gen Alpha. They'll be known as Gen Alpha. They are the children of millennials. Now, why is it that you find it difficult to land a dream job? Because one thing is, too many options in the job market, like too many options in the courses. You're unsure about, the youngsters are not sure about their professional goals. Like I told you, your friend has joined, so you too go and join a particular course, and then your aspects of a job becomes lesser, because your friend might have the skill set which is probably he has for the course that he has joined, but you might not have it. You have joined because your friend has joined. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Can you see the importance of thinking of your skill set before taking up a course? And lack of preparation, not proactive enough. What is the meaning of not proactive enough? See, proactive is, communicating with people. When opportunity arises, you need to take it up. Like I have asked you, you can ask some questions. If you ask, that means you are proactive enough. And unless you are proactive enough, you cannot learn things. It's simply not possible. Learning is a very proactive kind of thing. So the conclusion is, we have gone through some, and what to do after graduation. It's only you need to understand where your interests lie and choose accordingly. Don't forget that you are the architect of your life, and design it accordingly. And we are wishing you all the very best. Now, this is one of the slides which I really like. This is from Brian Tracy. Okay, he said, we are the architects of our lives. Who is Brian Tracy? He's chairman and CEO of Brian Tracy International. Okay, a company specializing in the training and development of individuals and organization. He says that you are the master of your own fate, and it's like, you know, you are behind the steering wheel of your life. Like you're driving your car. Imagine you're driving. So it's like that with your life, and there is no limitations of what you can do, have, or be. And please don't put limitations to yourself by your own thinking. So please imagine you are the architect of your life and design your life accordingly. So thank you all for listening. And any questions? Any questions? You can unmute and ask. Or later on, you can even, I have, sent you a link for with the feedback form. I want you to, I have linked it. I would like everyone to kindly share your feedback. And if you have any questions, you can even mail it to me. No questions? Someone had raised a hand earlier. No questions? That's it. Thank you so much.